When it comes to the popular corporately sponsored online hip-hop shows, Everyday Struggle, Complex, and State of the Culture, Revolt, they both have one very important thing in common at their root: Joe Budden. The previous co-host of Everyday Struggle and current co-host of State of the Culture is also the New Jersey rapper that has had no shortage of eras in hip-hop and ways in which he can reinvent himself while remaining the same. Joe Budden has had hip-hop beefs with major league rappers like Jay-Z, Wu-Tang Clan, Eminem, Drake, Migos, and Consequence, just to name a few. He was a member of the lyrical supergroup Slaughterhouse that included verbal magicians like Royce da 5'9", Joel Ortiz, and King Crooked. But in more recent years, it's been Joe Budden's ability to talk about hip-hop more so than create it that has kept people talking. Along with the Joe Budden podcast featuring Rory and Mal, and Pull Up where he's interviewed people like Black, T-Pain, and Charlamagne the God in his home, Joe Budden has been a part of Everyday Struggle and State of the Culture, two very different shows that are worth comparing. Everyday Struggle began in 2017 as a morning show that featured internet personality DJ Academics and rapper turned broadcast host Joe Budden, with news journalist Nadeska Alexis as the moderator. They squared off on the juiciest media headlines pertaining to hip-hop and pop culture, with Joe Budden typically being the most outspoken voice of the three. But after about a year, what was expressed as creative differences, Joe Budden moved on and made it known that Complex was over for him. From his Twitter account at Joe Budden, he tweeted, "I created that show. I'll create another if need be, and another, and another. It's when you can't create that you move without integrity." With Budden's departure, it was clear that he was the sauce that gave Everyday Struggle its spice, and fans complained on social media, and the interest decreased. In order to attempt to fill this massive void and add some blunt dialogue to the trio, famed shock jock radio personality Troy Star Terrain, known in the 1990s for the Star and Buck Wild show, joined Everyday Struggle. After many intense on-air disputes, Star 2 was gone and didn't last more than several months. In came third co-host Wayno, a music industry professional who's worked with Jay-Z and DMX and manages Dave East through his company Triangle Offensive Management. Now, the chemistry somewhat seems to be back on Everyday Struggle, with Wayno having a level of charisma that Joe Budden offered, along with great analytical insight. But the show just lacks the star power and magnetism of the co-hosts that are featured on Joe Budden's next web show, State of the Culture, that Joe created with Sean Diddy Combs. Joe Budden was clearly comfortable sharing the stage of State of the Culture with someone else who wasn't afraid to speak their truth, the author of the Nicki Minaj classic diss track Sheether, Remy Ma, filling out the panel to chop it up about not just pop culture and hip-hop, but also politics and social justice, along with the seasoned radio and television personality who started on air with Hot 97's morning show Ebro in the Morning, Scotty Beam, and Brandon Jinx Jenkins, a creative culture conveyor who has worked for Mass Appeal, Complex, and Pigeons and Planes. Beginning back in September 2018, State of the Culture, Joe Budden, Remy Ma, Scotty Beam, and Jinx, along with the sleek and glamorous set, bringing a level of maturity and grown-upness to their hip-hop perspective that separates them from most other shows that examine the culture. It's refreshing to see Joe Budden have others to play off of that can keep up with his remarks, adding male and female perspectives, and to dig deeper into everything from Kanye West appearing on Saturday Night Live, Bill Cosby heading to prison, and Eminem dissing other rappers, including Joe Budden himself on the Kamikaze album from an unapologetically hip-hop perspective. With Joe Budden's new move to Revolt to build State of the Culture into the 60 minutes of hip-hop, and DJ Academics and Nadeska rebuilding the Everyday Struggle brand back up successfully with Wayno, it proves that not only is there room for a younger and older approach to hip-hop journalism, but also that Joe Budden can truly create some dynamic programming away from the recording studio in the broadcasting space. This has been a Hip Hop Madness original. Make sure you stay tuned and stay up to date on everything we got going on by subscribing and making sure you hit that notification bell. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at HipHopMadness and join the movement.